Hello. So, dear student, we have another session on regulatory affairs. So, our speaker will deliver her guidance to us. Now, I share a screen to you, sir.
Hi guys, hope you again refreshed and are in good mind, good mood. ऐसा तो नहीं कि किसी को बहुत टफ लग रहा है मतलब because no one is having any doubt, no one has mentioned any query question. If not getting, please raise a question. नहीं समझेगा तो हिंदी में मराठी में जिस लैंग्वेज में चाहे मतलब I know Hindi, English and Marathi. So any other we can choose either any of them if required. So एक I think Shreyash, the candidate name is Shreyash. He has asked me one question. So I'll give the answer of that question also. At the end of this session, I will let you know how we can enter in pharma field, how we can build a career in pharmaceutical sector in different departments. For briefly, for within 5-10 minutes, I will let you know how we can prepare for that. This is just the introduction of subjects. We can't go very deep in this 40-50 minutes session. So however you will get familiar with the little bit with the process or the words related to our regulatory field. Can you little bit minimize the screen? Yeah, thank you. So let's start about the other subject, regulatory affairs, pharmaceutical regulatory affairs. So देखिए, the QA is really the complex team, but regulatory is huge, means has more complexity than QA. RA को R&D से लेके manufacturing, testing, QA, everything, batch release, after batch release, whatever things are there, these all things has to be taken care by RA. So regulatory affairs is the department which plays very vital role in the pharmaceutical industry to deal with regulatory agency. So the word regulatory means regulations, rules. So rules will be established by government. So regulatory team is dealing with different governments of regulatory governments, not our governments, the agencies which okay, I got some call. Okay, no issue. So let's discuss about the regulatory. So the regulatory affair is the department who is dealing with, the person is dealing with organization adheres to regulatory compliance. Means like our United States Food Drug Administrations, different a word means different countries having different agency to establish the rules and regulation regarding the export of product in their country. If we want to export our product in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, or anywhere, US, Europe, Canada, Australia, Japan, Israel, Switzerland, there is having one agency, one government body which will establish the rules to export that product from our India to their product. So this rule will be this followed, means the regulatory affairs will ensure that our product is meeting that rules, is following that rules. So it is the position mostly found within the regulated industry. So regulatory affairs is not only for pharmaceutical, it's for cosmetic, agrochemicals, fertilizers are there, then some plant protection products, cosmetics, energy, blocking, telecom. These regulations are there everywhere. So wherever regulations are there will be a regulatory agency, and to follow that rules, there will be a regulatory affair department. So here we will discuss about only pharmaceutical regulatory affairs. So pharmaceutical regulatory affairs is specifically related to pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biologics, and functional foods. So medical devices means whatever the instruments which are used during the uh, in hospitals, in testing laboratories, that means human sample testing like X-ray machines, CT scan machines, that whatever the different machines are there in hospitals and in testing laboratories. So that all are medical devices. Biologics means the product which is originated from biological protein like yeast, bacteria, all that. So it's biotechnological products. Then functional food, the food products. So regulatory will be there for all these pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biologics, and functional foods. So regulatory affairs means RA. It is responsible to ensure that the supply of the product is that are safe and make worthwhile contribution to public health and welfare. So main things which RA has to ensure that product is safe, efficacious, is product safety, efficacy, and strength. This should be ensured before reaching the product up to the patient. So this is the responsibility of regulatory affair to ensure all these things. So regulatory affair departments is responsible of obtaining the approval of new pharmaceutical product. Now, if we want to export the product in country, we have to formally give the application to that country that we want to sell or export this product to your country. So then after getting the approval, again we have to maintain the product in that country. So there will be different updation in their rule. Then there will be multiple changes in our facility. So these all things will be coordinated. The communication between agency and company organization will be handled through the regulatory affair. It is the mediator between pharmaceutical industry and agency. So we can say that, like one example I have given, that if it is a client, company or manufacturer is the client, regulatory affair is the advocate, and that regulatory agency is a judge. So it plays the role between, as judge will have the defined rules and client has to follow that rules. So advocate is in between them to have the communication and to get the dealing with both of them. So to follow the guidelines, legislations, rules is the responsibility of regulatory affairs. So let's go next page. Sorry, actually this page is scanned wrongly. Go to next page. This page we will take later. Yeah. So it managed the process of working with the project team, means the manufacturer initial project team will be there to launch the product in the particular country, and interacting with regulatory health agencies such as Food and Drug Administration (FDA) for US. It is called as the agency's name is Food and Drug Administration US FDA, and other different agencies and bodies are there who are which are established. They are establishing the rules and regulation like ICH. ICH, I think it is in your syllabus also. So it is the International Conference on Harmonization of Technical Requirement. So this is they have established the rules how we can establish, means register our product. So that safety rules, their stability rules, there is whatever QMS rules. So ICH from Q1 to Q14 different guidelines are there, quality guidelines in that, and then safety guidelines also there in ICH. So these all regulatory agencies have established the rules for the export and registration of product in their countries. So this position is uh, actually regulatory affairs having a lot of vacancies as of now. Also there are multiple huge vacancies are there in our regulatory, as I am very much active on LinkedIn. So at right now there are multiple regulatory vacancies in regulatory affairs departments throughout India and abroad India also. The reason is this is the new emerging field. How, see, if we want to get more money, we should export our product in developed countries, because we will get the rupees in numbers. So every organization want more money, more growth. So they want to export their product with US, Europe, the Australia, Japan, New Zealand, Switzerland, and all other countries. That these countries are called as developed countries. Then other are rest of the world countries, and then India. So India, definitely every company will export to India, but apart from that, if they want to get more profit, they want to sell their product in abroad. So for that, there should be one team to know the rules and regulation and to get the formal approval of the product. So it is the team which is called as regulatory affair. So that's why now there is a huge demand of regulatory affair in the market. But it's not easy to enter in regulatory affair field, because it requires certain skills, technical knowledge. So that one we will discuss here. So accordingly, we will discuss a little bit about what are the terminologies related, what are the skills and what are the knowledge required for regulatory affairs. So what is now here, there is a different teams of regulatory affair. Majorly, this we can say that what is the scope. So there are drug regulatory affair, medical device regulatory affair, related to pharma only. I am telling you, because we are not talking about now food and agrochemical, fertilizer, everything. Just about pharmaceutical regulatory affair. So here we have drug regulatory affair and medical device regulatory affair. So drug means our pharmaceutical drug. It may be active drug, API, or it may be formulation, tablet, capsule, liquid oral, eye drop, whatever, cosmetics, ointment, cream, like that. So there will be drug regulatory in the regulatory. What is that? Krishna Kadekar, something he is saying. Sir, your voice is low. Okay, no problem. I'll increase my voice little bit. Am I audible now properly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here there are two teams. One is drug regulatory affair teams, and other will be medical devices regulatory affairs. So medical devices means whatever the equipment, instruments which are used in medical testing labs and hospitals for to take for the care of patients, like that wheelchairs will be there, syringes, catheters, their pacemakers, CT scan machines, ultrasound machines, MRI machines, dialysis machines, so patient monitors, whatever, pulse machines, you could nebulizer machine, whatever all there, that are called as medical devices. So mostly in medical device, the person who is from technical as well as pharma background, like BTech in pharmaceutical, so he will have some engineering background as well as pharma background. So he will have a little bit exposure to that machines, equipments, pharma things. So mostly that person will enter here, but not limited. We can also enter, but there are very less chances. But it's not impossible thing. So mostly our pharma candidates will enter in drug regulatory affairs. So let's discuss about drug regulatory affairs. So can you please go to next slide? So here, drug regulatory affairs. So here, the mostly who are working in regulatory affairs, they are mostly highly qualified persons like M.Pharm, PhDs, and some doctorate candidates. So they are most of them are scientists. In my organization also, we are about 70-80% team. So here more than 20% are PhD, and lot of persons came from R&D, regular research and development or formulation development. Why? Because the person who has worked from the starting point, research, they know better about the product and formulation development. So they are very familiar with the process. They have established the criteria for that product, characteristics of that product. So they know better. So this is the group of scientists who formulate the strategy for interacting with the regulatory authorities in various countries, as well as tactics of securing the responses for the question which are coming from the agencies after submission of our product formal application. So what is the role of regulatory affair? They will file the application to the agency that this product we want to export in your country. So then the agency will ask multiple questions that this document is incomplete. This part we the agency has to elaborate. This additional test agency has to provide. So test results. So this will be taken care of regulatory to answer the questions of regulatory agency and maintaining the communication after the approval of product. So what are the regulatory agency, that also I have explained on the next page. So I think not directly next page, somewhere in between, somewhere in this slide I have explained. So different regulatory agencies of different countries, mainly different that developed countries. So the main work is application of drug registration, then giving the answer of agency's queries. Then after application, what are the again in between that new rules will come in future from agency, that because day by day there will be some new requirements, new research that this should be developed, this additional test should be added in that one. At the same time, there will be some lot of changes in the manufacturing testing facilities in the agents in company organization. So what are the change going on throughout the internal continuous improvement? That change we cannot implement without agency's approval. Whatever the initial application we have given, that we have suppose 25 liter 500 liter autoclave, then and our machine capacity is suppose 2000 vial per hour or 5000 vial per hour, and in between that we are adding new machine that is having capacity of 1500 sorry 10,005 or 15,000 20,000 vial per minute filling capacity. Or autoclave is having suppose 1000 liter capacity, so we cannot introduce that directly. There will be a formal process, like just in previous lecture, previous session we have discussed about the change control. So this is called as variation, wherever there will be any change, the initial assessment will be done by QA, but final assessment will be done by RA with the help of a regulatory agency. So regulatory person will evaluate that change, will share with agency. That is called as product life cycle management. So here product safety, efficacy and quality of drug is the main important things which regulatory is paying more attention. So throughout product distribution, storage, sale, import, distribution and supply of the drug. So typically role of RA involves during the product development, supporting of the means they will provide the guidance how we shall develop the product. So as US will have different regulations for development of product, you have different regulation, India will have different regulation. So that rule they will share with the development team. These are the requirement. According to that, please you develop your product, perform this stage throughout that development. So they will inform the strategic regulatory control, providing the worldwide regulatory policy for the product development, manufacturing, and registration. So, developing and maintaining the dependable relationship with regulatory authorities throughout verbal and written communication, because there will be a continuous communication between regulatory with regulatory agency That means different countries, Food and Drug Administration or whatever the name of that agency, that who is taking care of the import and that use of that drug in that particular country. So that applications will be called as, for specifically in US, it is called as NDA. It is for new drug application. If it is a before clinical trial, if we want that, we we will request agency that we are going to conduct the clinical trial. So it is INDA, so investigational new drug application, and abbreviated new drug application filing. So if the product is generic, means we are not the innovator or the original innovator of the product, then we will file the generic application, that is called as ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. It will not have more test, as already clinical trials and all already was conducted by the innovator organization and or company. So these all things are the main responsibilities of regulatory affairs. So this, whatever the application will be there, that will be given through regulatory dossier. So these are the different regulatory agencies. US FDA. US FDA is for US, Miss, and then European Medicine Agency. There are 27 countries in Europe. So for that, only one agency is working, that is EMA. For that 27 countries, this is the governing body which is taking care of drug import and whatever the relevant rules for uses of drug from different countries or from Europe itself. So that all the regulation will be established by Europe. Then for MHRA is UK, the Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. It is for UK. Just recently, Europe and UK has separated the rules. Previously, it was combined. Just last year only they are separated. Then Health Canada is for Canada. Then TJ for Australia. Therapeutic Goods and Goods Administration. This is Australian governing agency for governing the drugs in Australia. Then Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices Agency, PMDA, Japan, and the New Zealand MedSafe and CDSCO. This is for India, Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So this is the body of India, which is controlling the drug manufacturing, export, testing, all this time to the reach of the patient. So now drug approval process. Drug approval process in US. Just we have discussed about different governing body also, correct? Now we will discuss about the drug approval process. I think someone previously have explained about some clinical trials and all that in previous session, if I am not wrong. So this particularly will start from, so initially it will start from IND process. So if we want to export the product, we should have some trials. So if that trial, for that trial, we have to give one application. It is called as IND, Investigational New Drug Application, to FDA. This is US FDA. It's specifically for US. So we have to send that application to reviewer. That days which are mentioned here, it may vary because it varies time to time from agency. So don't consider that days. You can check the currently because it will vary against. So, but the application will be sent for review of agency. So there will be there is a huge team of reviewing the applications. For biologics, different team. For a small molecule, different teams. For generic product, different teams. So they will review the application. Then after that one, if there is any query, they will ask through the regulatory team. They will not go to QA or plan direct. They will ask the question to regulatory only, that you have not provided this properly. This document is incomplete, or this test is having some deficiency. So then accordingly we have to give the updated data. Then they will approve that one. That okay, now the protocol is approved, clinical trial protocol. You can go for clinical trials. So we will conduct the clinical trials accordingly. Then we will submit the clinical trial data to agency, and if the agency is satisfied with the clinical trial data, then they will give the approval for the export of drug, manufacturing of drug first, and then after that one there will be a process validation of that batches, stability testing of that batches, and then they will give the approval for export of that batches. Now let's go for next slide. So now first part was for clinical trial. Now this is NDA, new drug application. Now so once we will file the NDA, new drug application, means in that one there will be a product data, clinical data, whatever data is there, all the previous clinical trial, everything is over, IND is over, then there will be NDA. So new drug application will be filed to FDA, then is forwarded to CDR, means Central of Drug Evaluation and Research. So they will verify that all the data, whether the product is eligible for this approving or not, whether there are some discrepancies, they will verify throughout that whatever the procedure are there, there are different guidelines and procedures, whether the innovator or whether the uh, person who are approaching for approval has followed, the company has followed all the procedures, all the steps, all the testing criteria, everything are within the limit. Then if it is yes, okay, mostly it will not come within worst first miss one shot. They will again ask different queries, then in between there will be multiple communication, agency to regulatory, then regulatory will convey that agency's message to user, whether it is testing, manufacturer, manufacturing department, QA department, that this is the requirement of regulatory agency, and then they will guide their particular department to fulfill that requirement. After getting that requirement, that updated documents will be shared to FDA. Then if FDA is satisfied with that data, then they will approve the product for their marketing, for the marketing in that particular country. So this is about new drug application, NDA. Let's go to next slide. So this is ANDA. Its small form, short form is ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. So this is for generic drugs. If, as I told you, if the drug is already in market, like paracetamol, now maybe 200, 500 companies will have their product as a paracetamol tablet in the market. So if you want, suppose you are now XYZ company, new company, you want paracetamol for on your name. So you have to follow this rule. This is the generic pathway. So here we will not have more animal testing and that different clinical trials, because already we have to show that our product is equivalent to existing paracetamol. But we do not need to perform the clinical trials here. So we will file the application to FDA. Then it will be forwarded to OGT. This is miss this is the generic department, Office of Generic Drug, OGD. So then it will go to OGD department of CD here, Office of Generic Drugs. Then it will go give the after satisfactory assessment, they will give the approval. Now post approval product life cycle management. After getting product approval, there, as I told you, there will be multiple changes throughout the system, throughout our plant, maybe manufacturing changes, testing changes, raw material changes, equipment changes. So whatever all the changes, that changes are called as variation. That will be handled through change control process. So 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 that change control will be shared with regulatory affairs team from the user department to assess whether the change is major, minor, or critical. So accordingly, that change, the regulatory affair has to share that change with the agency that we are going to file this change. So this is called as variation. So variation is nothing but varies. Varies means change. कुछ बदल रहे हम लोग. Variation filing. So different countries have different variation categories. First, whatever the all product data, it will be shared through dossier. What see, regulatory will not have all these document, different documents. They will take that document as a source document, but they will maintain one document that is called as dossier, common technical document, each and every data from research to testing, manufacturing, everything will be maintained by regulatory in one format, which is called as Common Technical Document (CTD), and that is dossier. That is nothing but a dossier to maintain. That is specific, that have specific structure that you can find on the Google, but it's CTD. Now it's electronic CTD, e-CTD. So if there is any change, we have to file the variation. So different variation categories are there. In US, there are different. If it is major change, if it is impacting any product, then it will be prior approval. Means we have to get the approval of agency before implementing then that change. So different categories are there for US and Europe. So you need to remember variation word, because this is not required at all to keep remember that all things. Okay, no issue. For your more information, you can search these things through in the Google. So this is the main things, roles of regulatory affair. So let's have now little bit discussion how to enter in QA and RA. So first, as I have just we have two sessions here, means combined session, regulatory affairs and quality assurance. So first, we should have a little bit exposure or little bit idea about this, whatever the terminologies I have used now here, variations, dossiers, then the IND, NDA, then post-approval changes, that is called as product life cycle management. Means after approval, what are the changes? These are the things, some variation categories. So if you are aware of drug approval process, then if you are aware of certain operations knowledge, then it's easy to enter in regulatory. So before that one, you have to go through the government guidelines, or if you are if you can join any class, as this is a new thing, you cannot easily understand. So it is as per you. If you want to build a career in RA, you have to learn some basics of RA. As a fresher, it's not easy to enter because it's required a lot of process knowledge, shop floor as well as regulatory aspects. So both skills required here: regulatory skill, R&D knowledge, manufacturing knowledge, testing knowledge, some equipment operations knowledge. All now about QA. So QA is not that much tough, but as the number of candidates are more and organizations are limited, openings are there, but the number of openings and number of candidates are is not matching. So you have to build some skills. You have to get some little bit ideas. What is I have shared you a little bit within 30-40 minutes. What is QA? What are the roles of QA? So you have to little bit understand what is the batch manufacturing record, what is the standard operating procedure, what is the procedures, like if you want to go in tablet castle, little bit go through the different articles, search that one, and definitely connect with different experts, those who are working in industry. But no one can give you assurance, because every company and organization having certain rules, whether they will take as an employee to fresher or not. It depends on their requirement and recruiting managers requirement. Because so for that, you should be ready to join whatever the organization available, small, large. Just join the organization, get some experience, and go to next organization in good. So hope guys, uh, you have a little bit idea about RA and QA. Even if you have some doubts, you can ask me.
Yes, anyone having any question, they can write in the chat box, please. So all the participant be here. We have some special announcements. So don't leave the meeting unless the instruction is given. So thank you so much, Sir Mangesh sir, for providing your valuable knowledge or
Thank you for
enlightening the
you
student
guys.
regarding.
Thank you guys that you have given me the opportunity, and that I connected with you guys after I think 13-14 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is our pleasure to have you with sir. and your knowledgeable session will definitely helpful for our students. And in future, if offline mode we can arrange these sessions, hope you can also available with the your sparing your time.
Sure.
So
Definitely, I will like,
yes, sir.
because
Yes, sir.
I am always eager to help our candidates. Not only this means lot of candidates I have guided, supported, and this is our
Yes,
college, and there are some attachment with our college. Definitely, there will be some emotional and everything with our college.
yes, yes,
So I
yes.
will be always ready to guide our candidates. If anywhere through reference or anything, what whichever I can do for our candidates, definitely I like to do in future also.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. So, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable guidance. On the behalf of Dr. Rajendra College of Pharmacy Training Placement Cell, and we conducted this session along with the Association of the Alumni Association in collaboration with the Alumni Association. We will definitely thankful to you, sir. And in some instructions are there for the student. Today, you have to fill up the feedback link. Please write your name correctly because it can be used for the certification purpose. So all the student write your name correctly in the feedback link, and unless and until you submit your feedback, you cannot get the certification. Those students who attended all the sessions will get the certificate. One more thing, those students who required a hard copy of the certificate, they have to contact in our group. We will revert you regarding your queries. So thank you so much, sir. So with the your link for the feedback is posted in your WhatsApp group. So and also here in the chat box also. So you can submit your feedback.
I think someone
Thank you
has
so
raised
much.
one question. Yeah, after first is fresher student who join the company. What is the job in company in regulatory affair, and how to join fresher for regulatory affair? See, mostly as I told you, there are very rare chances of getting job in regulatory for fresher, because but it's not impossible also. Just you have to upskill your knowledge. You have to get some little bit ideas about the regulatory operations, regulatory rules, ICH guidelines, stability, some little bit operation, whichever we discuss in this half an hour 40-minute session. So get little bit ideas of that, and connect with different expert in regulatory affairs. At the same time, mostly the big means whatever the large organizations are there, they are taking their drive, working drive to the colleges like ICT college, Naipur college, and they, because as this RA required more expertise, more knowledge, that Naipur, ICT, and these guys are BTech, MTech guys. They know better. They have better idea about the drug development process, all that. So they will prefer that colleges. However, we can also try. I think
Yes, thank you so much, sir,
second is
for
related to you.
yes.
Second query is related to you guys, Ritesh and team.
Yeah. Yes, sir. With the permission of our this concept for this program is the idea is by the our responsible sir, that we can connect our alumni with our current students, so they will get the ideas. So I am thankful for the principal sir for providing the opportunity to organize such kind of
Please
events. We
convey
are
my
also
thanks
thankful to
to
our management.
principal.
And with this concluding remark, with the permission of the chair, I can say that today's program is over.
So thank you. Please convey my thanks to principal sir also
Yes, sir,
for
yes,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
thanks. Yes.